how we can achieve compliance by protecting and controlling your data with encryption in Microsoft 365. And that's going to be kind of split into two parts, and we're going to share the stage here a little bit. I'll get going and talk about Azure Information Protection and hand off to Jacqueline. She's going to talk about customer keys. All right, let's get going. This is your digital estate today. And why do we put this up as the first slide for you to see? Because this is the reality that you live with. Your data is spread everywhere, primarily because you have productivity needs that need to be satisfied. You use what is best for your users, you put data where it's required, you share with partners, you do what's required for your business. But then, you're also required to be compliant in this spread out world. With data spread everywhere and with regulation coming in controlling that data, you need to do something about how you deal with compliance and how you deal with data. And hopefully this session is going to help you out with that. Now let's talk about why compliance is challenging. Well, we all start to see now that there is a cost to compliance. Now, if you're not compliant, there is a monetary aspect to it that perhaps wasn't there before. It's becoming real to us. And data is, in some sense, your biggest risk, right? That's the place where all the regulation is focused on. This is where all the challenges are. More so now, you have regulators coming in with updates on what they want to do. It's a constantly changing environment. The regulations are starting to go from fuzzy to clear as we move on in time and we understand what's going on in this space. What is at risk and what is not. Both regulators and the people who are regulated are coming to a conclusion on where we need to go, how this needs to progress. But nevertheless, the end of the day, what you really get to understand is that the cost of compliance is increasing, and the more you are not compliant, the worse this is for you. Now, as you move to the cloud, we talk about something called the shared responsibility model. When you are completely on premises, all the responsibility up and down the stack, completely yours. But as you move to the cloud, some of this responsibility gets shared with your cloud provider. And depending how far you go, whether it's IaaS, PaaS, or SaaS, the amount of responsibility changes. Nevertheless, it's never zero for you. And in this session, we are going to talk about some of those non-zero responsibilities that you have. And we will see how that works out and what solutions we have to help you in that space. Let's take a deeper dive and see what that split means. If you look at the various aspects to it, we kind of summarize it into access to production environment, protecting your data, and personal control. Now, we talk about shared responsibility, which means there is some of this on your side and some of this on our side. And this is where we get into what do we provide to you to help you end to end. This session is going to be focused on how you protect data. Some of these capabilities that you see are provided by the cloud provider, which is us. And some of these things you have to put on top yourself, depending on your compliance needs, your regulations that apply to you, and what is the best solution for your environment and for your organization. What is really clear at the end of the day, however, is that when it comes to your side of the shared responsibility, encryption is the way to go, right? Encryption helps you protect your data in ways that help you out in terms of compliance and keep your data safe. Now, we need to provide you solutions on how this encryption will work for you, and that's what we're going to talk about in the next slide. Let's spend 2 minutes on this and understand what is going on. Encryption options in Microsoft 365 spread from what is in transit, data in transit, to data at rest. Like, you have a variety of options that exist at each step of the way and each layer of the data that is protected. So in the transit side, you have TLS, which is, of course, over the network. And on the content side, you have Office 365 message encryption and Azure Information Protection to help you out. At data at rest, which is when your data is lying in Office 365 or in the cloud, you have BitLocker at the lowest infrastructure layer, and you have application level security that is also provided via service encryption. What we are going to jump into a little bit today is the key management options that exist for you. And we are going to focus on two aspects. For the content, you have Microsoft Managed Keys, BYOK and HYOK. And for service encryption, you have the customer key. And why are we going to focus on this? Because the rest is already provided by the platform. There is sufficient documentation about it. As cloud providers, we talk about this all the time. But what we are here to talk about today is the tools that you have additional on top of all of this with responsibilities that you have to protect the data. What controls do you get? Let's jump into data in transit. Okay, we are going to talk about Azure Information Protection and Office 365 message encryption here. A summary on how this actually helps. Now, what you need to understand is, at the end of the day, when you need to protect your data, encryption needs to be persistent in some sense. Wherever your data goes, encryption needs to follow, which is how you show protection, show compliance. Now, how does AIP and OME help? The first thing is, the access to your encrypted document is based on the user's identity, which means you get to control who gets access to the data, and you get to limit who gets access to the data. First step of compliance. It's not open to the world, limited access from your decision point, right? Now, once the data is encrypted, you share it out to the world, share it out to your partners who do have access. It's not over there. You have a leash on that data. What you can do is monitor and revoke that data if required, which means you can audit who has had access to that data. You can monitor and decide who will have access to that data in that future, and revoke data access to folks who had previously access to it, which means one time you grant access, it's not permanent. You have a continual access audit to it, and you can change that level whenever you feel like. That is control over your data that you previously never had. AIP does this for documents, and OME does this for emails. So for all your unstructured data, you have a way now to both encrypt it, let it out into the world, but also pull it back if required. And this is huge when you want to make sure that when you're sharing sensitive data between you and your partners, that is not the source of where the data leaks. Now, when you do all of this, it becomes clear that encryption is what drives all of this. In order to make sure you can pull data access, you're actually calling out the fact that encryption is not going to happen. So the decision around keys, because keys is what drives the encryption, becomes important. Now, AIP and OME, although they act as the means to compliance, the access to your keys is equal to the access to your data. That's what it fundamentally comes down to. The systems are in place, you're going to protect your data, but protecting your data means keys. Keys become important. Now, what you decide around keys is literally what it means to be compliant in some sense. Let's talk a bit about keys in Azure Information Protection, because that's what we're going to drill into today. There are three kinds of keys here. The first is a document-specific symmetric key. And this is important because the key word here is document-specific. For every document that you encrypt, this is different, which means there's already a sense of split, and there's already a sense of isolation in place in some sense. Now, this document is encrypted, and we mentioned that the encryption is persistent. Along with the encryption, we send across a publishing license that decides who has access to this document. This publishing license is encrypted with the public key of your tenant. Now, this is a tie back to your tenant now. We went from a document-specific level to a tenant-specific one. So the tie between your document and the tenant is this publishing license that gets encrypted with a tenant public key. When you want to decrypt the document, you need to first decrypt the publishing license, which will give you access to the document-specific key, and then the document-specific key is used to actually decrypt the document. So again, rooting back to it all, in order to decrypt your document, you need a key that will actually decrypt the publishing license. And that key is the tenant private key. So if you want to start all the way from the beginning and bring it down to one single thing that you need to worry about is how do you control your tenant private key? And like all private keys, security of the private key itself is super important, and that's what we're going to spend the rest of our time talking about. The tenant private key is the one single thing that will control all of the data that you access and what happens to it in some sense. There are three key options in Azure Information Protection: Microsoft Managed Keys, Bring Your Own Key, and Hold Your Own Key. We're going to walk through each one of these in greater detail, and you're going to understand what it means to be compliant with each one of these. Before we jump into what the keys are, this is a slide that I have found is super useful for most people to understand. SKUs decide what you can buy, and the reality is that not everyone has the latest and greatest and the highest SKU from Microsoft. So what do you get with each one of the SKUs? What is good is that the Microsoft Managed Keys are available to you across all the possible SKUs. Start with Office 365 E3, you get Microsoft Managed Keys by default. Bring Your Own Key as a capability is also available in O365 E3 or higher, but you need an extra Azure subscription for Azure Key Vault. So you pay for Key Vault separately, but you don't need to pay extra for connecting the vault to your entire ecosystem that deals with data. The last one is Hold Your Own Key. When we go through Hold Your Own Key, you'll understand why it is so different from the others. It requires the highest SKU, which is EMS E5, M365 E5, or AIPP2. Once we go through this, you will understand why it's kept separately, why it is higher. But the other two encryption options are available to you from the lowest possible SKU, O365 E3 and higher. And there's a reason for this. The reason is we want you to be compliant. We want you to use all the options possible and make you decide what is right for your business. Nothing holding back in that sense. Let's talk about Microsoft Managed Keys very quickly. What are Microsoft Managed Keys? When the tenant private key is stored and managed by Azure Information Protection, that is us, Microsoft, and this type of key, this type of scenario is then referred to as the Microsoft Managed Key. We manage your key. And why is this important to you? Why should you care? For most organizations, this is all that is required. It's sufficient. We provide you the means to encrypt your data, and we keep it simple. We take care of the security in some sense. And this is where that shared responsibility model comes in. We take care of keeping the key secure, so your responsibility of the key also comes down. As long as you use the key within the right set of parameters and our environment, you're good. And this makes it super simple to manage. There's nothing additional that you need to do. It just comes with your tenant, it comes with your subscription, and it's readily available if you have an Office 365 subscription attached to your tenant. It is what most customers do today. And it is the reality that we take care of that responsibility, and it's good with most people. But we head into a zone where compliance does not necessarily depend on what we think is important. It's what you think is important, and this is where Bring Your Own Key comes in. Now, when you use Azure Key Vault to import or generate your key, and you keep your key in like hardware security modules, this scenario is called Bring Your Own Key. Now, this is important. What you're essentially doing is moving out the key management responsibilities to Azure Key Vault. Why is this so important? Why is this different from Microsoft Managed Keys? Because with BYOK, you can show better key control. This means the end-to-end operations around the key, importing your key, seeing actions and transactions that happen against your key, turning off access to your key, full control of what's happening there is under your control now when you use Azure Key Vault. And this helps you meet certain compliance requirements where the compliance officer or the regulator says that you must show possession of the key. You must show end-to-end control of the key. And the way to show end-to-end control is this. Azure Key Vault provides you all the APIs to do end-to-end CRUD, create, read, update, delete, all of it. So that difference is really what matters to certain organizations. And eventually, certain organizations also have policies, historical, that they carry forward. They already have HSMs, and they say, no, you must use the key that we have generated on premises. That's the one that we must continue to use in the cloud. We have certain policies on how we roll the key every 6 months, every 1 year. All those complex requirements around key management can be satisfied with Azure Key Vault, and that is the reason you pick BYOK. So the reason to pick BYOK fundamentally is compliance, compliance, compliance. That's what this session is about. And I think when you walk away from this session and you decide which key option you want to pick, I believe that BYOK is the right one for certain organizations that require these compliance-focused audit-related requirements. Now, we talked about Microsoft Managed Keys. We talked about BYOK. What we haven't talked about is the impact on the product. Is the product going to behave differently if you pick one option over the other? Do you lose functionality? And the answer is no. The way that the entire architecture works is that you connect your Key Vault to Azure Information Protection. That's it. It's one change in the backend that you need to make. You originally used Microsoft Managed Keys. That's what was used by default. You just switch that over to a Key Vault. That's all you had to do. Your interfaces from either on-premises or from the cloud will work exactly in the same way. BYOK is seamless, which means if you want a higher level of compliance, you don't give up any capabilities, you don't give up any features. What you do get is a higher level of compliance. So this is essential to ensure that you pick the right option. Like, one key takeaway here is, if you want BYOK, don't hesitate. Everything is seamless. The capabilities just work. Some important points to note when you're using BYOK. Like, use a vault that is different from what you use with the customer key. And there are reasons for this, both performance and latency and the number of transactions. They're slightly different in the way we use Azure Key Vault and how we interact with it. So the characteristics of the workloads are different. Use different vaults. And Jacqueline will talk about the requirements of her Key Vault related aspects in her session, or her side of the session. Now, what you also need to make sure is that you put your vault as close to your tenant as possible, again, for performance and latency reasons. All of this is documented in the URL that is called out there. So everything is publicly available. All the guidance that you require to implement BYOK with Azure Information Protection and Office 365 message encryption, right there. The other thing I do want to call out is that this session has been done before, and there's an existing video that exists with an end-to-end demo on how to configure Key Vault with Azure Information Protection. The PowerShell that's required, the UI that's required, what happens when it works, what happens when you encounter errors in configuring, all of that, how to deal with actual configuration has already been recorded, and it's available to you right now. So you can start with understanding what BYOK is, what are the constraints that you need to work against in terms of location of the vault and where you keep your key. And finally, you can walk through a video and finally configure your vault, and you're done. It's super simple. Let's talk a bit about hold your own key. Now, hold your own key is unique and different in its own way, and this will require some discussion. When you use an isolated ADRMS instance that's deployed on premises with a private key that is separate from what you use in the cloud, then this scenario is called hold your own key. I'm going to kind of walk through this a little bit more. You have now two private keys, one in the cloud, one on-premises and isolated. The trigger for this is a label. You choose between a label in Azure Information Protection, and it decides which key to use. The ADRMS instance on-premises is the one that holds your isolated key. And isolation here is super important because isolation means you have certain kinds of content that can never ever see the cloud. You can't use HYOK for everything because HYOK causes opaqueness to data. HYOK causes the Microsoft Cloud not to be aware of what is there inside the file or inside the email. And this has implications. But this is required for certain industries. This is required for certain organizations where having the key in the cloud and showing possession and maintaining those certain compliance requirements, not enough. There are more. There are others that BYOK does not satisfy. And more importantly, you have data that you absolutely cannot take outside your premises. That data is so sensitive and so secret that it has to be encrypted at rest even when it is within your organization. So keeping data encrypted at rest within your walled premises, that is the reason to use HYOK. That is not the use case for most customers. 90% of our customers will be happy with Microsoft managed keys, like up to 9% will be happy with BYOK, and the last 1-2% is really who will require HYOK. This is really what it is coming down to. There is very, very little that HYOK actually will cover. So the thing that we tell our customers is, think twice, think thrice, and think 10 times before you deploy HYOK. It exists as an option for you, but do not take it lightly because it has severe implications for the environment that you work in. But the good news in one sense is that BYOK and HYOK are not mutually exclusive, which means you don't have to choose, which means you can start with a higher level of compliance with BYOK, and if your organization really needs it, move up to HYOK. Now, let's talk about what HYOK provides and by design, what you will not get with it. Because you encrypt your data with a key that's on premises, isolated, and not visible to the Microsoft Cloud, it means that data that's encrypted by it is going to be opaque. You're going to get no indexing, no search, or any other type of reasoning over that data. So all the magic of Office 365 is essentially lost if you use HYOK for your files. You want that for certain kinds of data, and that's okay. You don't want that for all your data because your users are going to complain. So you choose. You pick data that you need to encrypt with HYOK. Pretty much everything else, BYOK is good enough. Data must remain encrypted at all times, inaccessible to even Microsoft in some sense. And when I say Microsoft, I don't mean Microsoft people. I mean the services that run in Microsoft. We look into that data. We do things with that data. We look at mail headers. We look at mail content. We apply mail flow rules that go out. Right? Now, if the mail flow rule can't run because it can't inspect the data, it kind of defeats the purpose of having a mail flow rule in Exchange Online in the first place. So, all these things that we provide in the Microsoft services, the actions that we can take on your data depend on us being able to look at your data. HYOK turns it into a blob, an encrypted blob that we just can't read, just can't see into. That has implications, right? External sharing, this is huge. External sharing is super hard with HYOK. The way that it works, because you have an isolated on-premises ADRMS instance, it becomes really, really hard. Now, what this means is that if you do require external sharing, you work with customers, you work with partners, you want to share data. Remember the world that we lived in where data spread out and you're talking to each other, that wonderful productive world, that's dead with HYOK. And that's by design. because we want our really, really secure documents to remain really, really secure and not free floating around in the world with everyone's access to it. So for the kind of data that you want locked down, external sharing wasn't a requirement to begin with. If you need external sharing on data, you may have to rethink why it needed HYOK encryption to begin with. So consider what your data really is. If you need it locked down, use HYOK, but if you want it locked down, why do you need external sharing? So it kind of works in parallel. Sorry. But the most important thing that HYOK kind of provides, the kind of one step up from BYOK, is that it shows physical access to your key. Now this is like a historical requirement in some sense, where physical requirement, you can actually go to the HSM, show the keys there, plug it out, and the world kind of comes to a standstill. That has been the requirement in certain organizations by policies that have evolved over time. We haven't yet found too many regulations that enforce this, but okay, historical policies require you to do it within your organization. This is how you do it. All right, I'm kind of done, and I'm heading towards handing this off to Jacqueline for data at rest. If there are any questions about this, we are there at the end. We'll answer them. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. So data encryption at rest. So data encryption at rest means that when we actually write that data down onto the disk, so anything that reads that data back up off the disk, it's decrypted from that feature perspective. So we have two features in Office 365 that are data encryption at rest features. So the first one is BitLocker. So what is BitLocker? It is data at rest at the disk layer. So what that means is if someone was able to steal a disk that was BitLockered and put it into another machine, they'd be unable to see the data that's on that disk, right? Because they would not have access to the BitLocker keys. It's integrated with the operating system. So with Windows machines, you BitLocker it through Windows and use the chip that's on the machine. And it prevents data compromise from physical theft. And as I said, it uses the TPM chip on the machine. So you usually have to have a TPM on the machine that you're actually BitLockering the disks for in order for that to work. And it uses AES 256 keys. So we have that on in the data center in Office 365 on the back-end machines. So for Exchange, SharePoint, OneDrive for Business, and Skype for Business for the data that's stored in a mailbox. So what is the value proposition of BitLocker? Data lost or stolen on a disk is inaccessible. So like I said, if you were able to take a disk out of a data center and put it into another machine, it would be inaccessible to you. It also enhances the file and system protections. So as a person that has BitLocker on my machine, I am unable to get to anything on that disk, be it like the operating system or anything else on that particular disk. It also renders the disk data, when you decommission or recycle that particular disk, it renders it all inaccessible. So from the moment that you pull that disk out of the machine, when it's no longer able to access those BitLocker keys, it is inaccessible from that particular feature perspective, meaning that nothing on that disk is readable to anybody else. So the next layer of encryption is something that we are working on and have released for customer key in the last Ignite in 2017. And this is service encryption. So what is service encryption? It's another data at rest feature, but we're doing this at the application layer. So instead of it just being disk layer protection, we're doing this at the application layer. So for example, in Exchange, we're doing this as we write the data down into the database. So from the feature perspective of somebody that was able to log on to the machine and copy a file off, that particular file will be unreadable to them because we are encrypting it as we're writing it down onto the disk inside of that database. So it separates the Windows administrator from the data. It's an additional protection against physical data theft in that, again, even if that particular disk did not have BitLocker on it and that disk was stolen out of the data center and put onto another machine, you'd be unable to read the data because the data inside of that particular database is encrypted. It also provides the customer the option to have Microsoft managed or customer managed keys. So in SharePoint today, we already have all of the data encrypted at rest with Microsoft-owned keys. And like I said, we released the customer key feature last year at Ignite in 2017. So the customer does have the ability to own their own root keys to their data. In Exchange Online, we did it a little differently. We did not already have all of the data encrypted with Microsoft-owned keys. So we started with the customer key version. So you are able to purchase the feature that is called customer key and encrypt all of the data at rest in Office 365 with that in Exchange and in SharePoint Online. The customer managed keys, like I said, was released last year. The Microsoft-owned keys in Exchange Online will be starting to roll out to the environment in January of 2019. So what is service encryption with Microsoft-owned keys? So Microsoft owns the root keys to the data. So be that SharePoint Online, OneDrive for Business, Exchange Online, or Skype for Business. And we own the root keys, and it's very much the same in Exchange Online as it is to customer key. The architecture is the same. So in Exchange Online, we still store our keys in Azure Key Vault. I will be explaining that a little bit later. And as Ashish said earlier, there is a feature where you can bring your own keys from an on-premises HSM and put that into Azure Key Vault and use those keys if you wish. You can also create keys in Azure Key Vault. Office 365 data, customer data that is non-encrypted with customer key will get the Microsoft-owned keys. So in AIP and OME that Ashish was showing earlier, we were talking about like if you don't own the keys, then Microsoft will own keys, so the data will still be encrypted no matter who owns the keys. And as I said, this is already on in SharePoint Online, and we'll begin rolling this out to Exchange Online in January. Root keys are stored in Azure Key Vault, and the data encryption policies for the Microsoft-owned keys in Exchange Online will be created per Forest. So in SharePoint Online, that's a little different, but in Exchange Online, we will be creating data encryption policies. I'll explain those in a little bit per Forest with the Microsoft-owned key version. Service encryption with customer key. So this is the one that's probably more interesting to everybody. It helps meet the compliance and regulatory demands that Ashish was talking about earlier. There are a couple of countries in the world that have this actually written into law. So there's only 2 that we know about today, and that's New Zealand and Israel. The rest of the compliance requirements are a lot of compliance groups within customers today have interpreted some kind of law as they have to own their own keys to their data if they have their data in the cloud. We have not seen any other countries besides those 2 actually write it into law, but there are some that could be interpreted that way. And so we do allow for this feature that we released last year. It is customer-controlled keys. It enables irrevocable data destruction. So I'm going to talk about our data deletion path. So how you get rid of or make that data crypto deleted when you exit the service or have a divestiture at your company. So the feature was really written for that case when you leave the service to make all of your data inaccessible. So today when you sign up for Office 365 and you sign that OST, those online service terms, it does say in there that if you decide to exit the service that your data is gone within 180 days. This feature will actually make you have the ability to do that much sooner. This feature is actually independently audited, so we have gone through SOC audits, both for Exchange Online and SharePoint Online versions of this feature. So you can read those online. We do have those all published. SharePoint's just went through this year, so theirs is not published yet, but will be in the next couple of months. Exchange Online went through our SOC audit last year, and it's already published if you'd like to read that. So we really do what we say we're going to do. We really do encrypt your data at rest, and we really do allow you to go down this data deletion path and make your data inaccessible. In Exchange Online, we have flexibility in data encryption policy. So like I was saying before, there's these things called data encryption policies. What that means is you can have a set of root keys that you tie to your data, and how we do that in Exchange Online is you take a set of root keys, you create this data encryption policy thing, and then you assign the policy to the mailboxes that you wish them to encrypt. So those mailboxes that are assigned to that data encryption policy that's pointing to these particular root keys are encrypted with that data. It also allows for an experience like the full feature-rich experience of Office 365 while you have this data encrypted at rest. So in the past, we've seen a lot of customers do something like Ashish was saying before, which is bring the data in already encrypted, right? Then we can't reason over that data, and therefore our feature set is much less because we cannot get to that data. So we can't content index, we can't search. There's a lot of things that we can't do any analytics against that data because it's opaque to us. So with this particular feature, what we're doing is this is a particular, this is the regular Exchange online access data flow. So you see a bunch of clients at the top, and then there's some internal workings of Exchange. But where I want you to look at is down here at this very low level, at the store level, is where we actually encrypt the data. As we're writing it to disk with a process that we call JET, so with those particular databases, it's written down onto the disk encrypted. So again, anything that reads that data up off of the disk is decrypted from our feature perspective. Of course, you can do OME, AIP, ATP, anything against that particular data once it's read up off the disk to be encrypted from those feature perspectives. But from our particular features perspective, as soon as it's read up off the disk, right, it is decrypted. So that means that, again, back to the feature sets of Office 365, that anything that's able to read that data up off the disk, the feature will work for. So let's talk a little bit about how we set this up with Azure Key Vault. So Ashish was talking about his BYOK and HYOK feature sets with ATP and OME. So they also use Azure Key Vault as their key store. But we use it a little bit differently in that we require many different things in order to set this up. So with those feature sets, there are a small subset of the data that is actually encrypted. So if you lose the keys to those particular messages, that won't work, right? But with SharePoint Online and Exchange Online, you are out for your whole workload. So for example, for Exchange Online, if you were to mismanage or, I don't know, get hacked and maybe ransomwared with your keys, it is possible that you could lose all of your Exchange Online or SharePoint Online data, right? And with our particular feature sets, you would not even be able to log into the environment. So for Exchange Online, you can't even log into your mailbox. You can't send, receive mail. So even though it is data at rest that is encrypted, we do have the entire mailbox encrypted in Exchange Online, so all the tables and rows, all of your metadata. So if the keys are unavailable to us, you cannot even log into your mailbox. So how we want you to have this set up. So we want you to have 2 Azure subscriptions that are distinct. So not the same Azure subscription that you have other things in, like maybe your Office 365 subscription, but 2 distinct Azure subscriptions with only Key Vaults as resources in them. We want you to place these subscriptions on this thing we call the mandatory retention period list. So when you are able to delete your subscription, all of the resources that are under that particular subscription go inaccessible. So we don't want you to be able to delete your subscription and therefore the keys underneath them and make all your data go inaccessible. So we have this thing that Azure actually helped us create with them that's called this mandatory retention period. So you cannot call in and immediately cancel your subscription, and therefore all the data underneath it goes inaccessible. We also want you to assign distinct administrators to each subscription. This will become crystal clear as to why when I go down the data deletion path with you guys a little bit later. But separate, distinct administrators do 2 things like account compromise. So if an account was compromised and happened to have permissions on both vaults, somebody might be able to either delete or take possession of those keys and therefore your data. Right, so we want to have 2 distinct sets of administrators on those particular subscriptions. We also want you to have HSM protected keys. So in Azure Key Vault, you are able to create a software-backed key. We want you to create a hardware security module-backed key because it's much more secure. We also want you to enable soft delete. So there's a new feature in Azure Key Vault that came out, I don't know, about 9 months ago, where you are able to turn on soft delete on your key vaults. So on those resources, and then if you delete a key within that key vault, you can reconstitute it within about 90 days. And if you are able to reconstitute it in 90 days, that key is still usable. The reason that we wanted to do that is there are possible mismanagements of keys, or again, like we were talking about ransomware, where somebody ransomwares you and you're unable to get access to those keys. We want you to be able to reconstitute those so that your data is not gone from Office 365. We want you also to ensure that the subscriptions and vaults have proper retention settings before you actually create the keys within those vaults. So the mandatory retention period is on, right? And soft delete is on that vault. And on the key, you'll be able to see an attribute. And if it's set to this particular value, then both of those things are on in your subscription and on your vaults. We actually check for that. So if you try to create a data encryption policy where the keys are not set to this particular value, it will fail. Because we want to make sure that you're protecting yourself as much as you can so you don't make your data go inaccessible to yourself. Let's talk about the Exchange setup. So now you have 2 sets of administrators, one for each one of those Azure subscriptions. Now you want to have a different, distinct SharePoint Online or Exchange Online tenant administrator for that data. You also want to choose compliance groups. So in Exchange Online, like I said, you can have multiple of those data encryption policies, and to get those mailboxes tied to those particular root keys, you assign a data encryption policy to a mailbox. Most customers want to create these compliance groups either by geo or by, let's say, department. So maybe you want your HR department to have a different set of keys than your legal department. Maybe you want North America to be separate than Europe. Or maybe you want to do it by geo and department. Maybe your legal department in Ireland has a different set of keys than your legal department in Singapore, for example. In Exchange Online, you're allowed to have up to 50 data encryption policies. In SharePoint Online, that's a little bit different. In SharePoint Online, you can only have 1 data encryption policy unless you're a multi-geo customer. And if you are a multi-geo customer, you are allowed to have 1 data encryption policy per geo. So how that works for the Exchange Online administrator, again, a separate person than the people that administer the subscriptions. They will create these data encryption policies because they were given the URIs or the way to get to those particular keys that we created in Azure Key Vault. We create this data encryption policy within Exchange Online or SharePoint Online, and then we assign those data encryption policies to the data that you want encrypted with that. We do have special licensing requirements for the customer key version of this feature. Again, with Microsoft-owned keys, you get that for free, so all of the data at rest will be encrypted at the application layer with Microsoft-owned keys, but if you choose customer key, you do have a licensing requirement. It is E5 or the Advanced Compliance add-on. And I will add a note here that in Exchange Online, we check that at the mailbox layer. So if a particular mailbox is not assigned a proper license, we will fail the assignment of the data encryption policy. So there's a lot of features that are in our advanced compliance add-on that are kind of like a gentleman's agreement as to we say you have to have this licensed, and in order to use this particular feature that you should have all these mailboxes licensed. And for customer key for Exchange Online, we have codified it, so it is a requirement that you have those particular mailboxes licensed properly. I get a lot of questions about this availability key thing, so let me address this. So it's a value add to our customers, so they can recover from a data loss scenario. So as I said before, we have 2 Azure Key Vault keys per data encryption policy. We also have this thing called an availability key. We use the availability key to be a third root key that can wrap this data encryption policy key. So any one of the 3 keys that is available to us, we can use to unwrap the data encryption policy key, and therefore unwrap the mailbox key, which locks the data for us. So it allows for high availability in Exchange Online. So let's say you are attempting to go down the data deletion path. Both of your Azure Key Vault keys are out, but then your CEO won't sign the document that allows you to completely go down the data deletion path, right? So I'm going to talk about a little bit more later how 4 people have to collude in order for your data to go inaccessible. But in this case, if both Azure Key Vault keys are unavailable to Office 365, and in this particular example, I'm using Exchange Online, I would be unable to do things like decommission a server because I can't move the mailbox because all of the metadata and rows and tables of that mailbox are encrypted. And so I can't decom a server. I can't do anything like content index or deliver mail to a mailbox, for example, right? So I need to be able to run the service even when the Azure Key Vault keys are unavailable to me. So unless this particular data encryption policy has gone down the data deletion path, this availability key is available to me. It is controlled by the customer, however. Like I said, we have this thing called the data deletion path. In the data deletion path, we will delete the availability key. It provides defense in depth. So this particular key is stored in a key vault structure that we have created in Office 365. So it's stored on Office 365 backend machines, not in Azure Key Vault. So in case we had some kind of catastrophic loss of connectivity between the Office 365 data center and the Azure data center, you would still have the ability to access your data that's in your mailbox. So what is the availability key used for? So it's only ever used if both Azure Key Vault keys are unavailable to Office 365. Okay, so if either one of those Azure Key Vault keys are available to us, we use one of those 2 Azure Key Vault keys. We round robin to them, and if one of them is unavailable to us, we try the other one. Okay? So the availability key, again, is only used when both Azure Key Vault keys are unavailable to us. It is used in 3 cases. One for transient issues. Let's say we have a networking issue or are unable to get an OAuth token to authenticate against a particular Azure Key Vault. We will then fall back to the availability key to use in order to have access to that mailbox. The second one is emergency restore of service. So as I said, this is a value add to our customers. So if you are compromised or your keys were mismanaged and you no longer have the ability to log into your mailbox, you can call us and we can switch to using the availability key for your user set. So what we do is we actually lock the users out of their mailboxes when both Azure Key Vault keys are unavailable to the Office 365 service. So your user base will be unable to log in to Office 365, either be it Exchange Online or SharePoint Online. So you can call us to make that changeover. We then, of course, will require that you create a new data encryption policy that does have keys that you own on it and switch all the mailboxes to using that instead. And then the third thing is system calls. So I mentioned that we have to be able to do things like move a mailbox or content index the mail in the mailbox or deliver mail to a mailbox. We have to be able to do those things in order for the service to run. So in the case where both Azure Key Vault keys are unavailable to the Office 365 service and we need to do some kind of system call to the mailbox, we will use the availability key if it exists. All right, so let's talk a little bit about this data purge path thing I was talking about before. So we have normal operations of Exchange Online or SharePoint Online. Then somebody decides, some data owner decides, we need to get rid of this data. So that be it for leaving the Office 365 service completely, or maybe you have a divestiture at your company. So you have a set of mailboxes that need to go down this data deletion path. Okay, so the decision is made. I need to divest this particular company. I have 100 mailboxes that I need to make inaccessible. So there are several steps that need to happen, and the Visio is going to fill up really quick here, guys. So this is not an easy thing to do. So as you can see with my key, there are multiple people that are involved here, and they should be all distinct individuals. And these boxes are colored in with who needs to do what. Okay. So normal operations, somebody decides here we're having a divestiture. The two Azure subscription owners, and again, those should be two distinct different people or maybe groups of people where they don't overlap, need to make the keys unavailable to Office 365. So usually that just means removing permissions from those keys. Okay. Then the third person, which is the Exchange Online or SharePoint Online administrator, needs to make a change and set on that particular data encryption policy that they were going down the data deletion path for an attribute. So now we have 3 people that already have to collude in order to start going down this data deletion path thing. Okay? The 2 Azure subscription owners and the Exchange Online or SharePoint Online tenant administrator. So that's 3 people. I will say also that the Exchange Online or SharePoint Online tenant administrator cannot set this attribute on a data encryption policy unless both of those Azure Key Vault keys are unavailable to the service. Once that happens, we do a bunch of stuff on the back end. So we check to see if the other Azure Key Vault key is available to us, for example. We put a message on your message center for your tenant saying, hey, there's something wrong with your data encryption policy, please go fix it. And then we also say, make sure that if your key is available, your other key is available to us, we do use it. So we do allow the mailbox to be decrypted and the users to log in. If it is not, if the second Azure Key Vault key is out, then we have a service outage for your users. Okay. Again, like I said, your users are locked out of the service if both Azure Key Vault keys are unavailable to us, but we do continue to use that availability key for system calls. Once the service outage happens, then we all get together. We probably will contact your account team. We will talk to more people about who and what and where we need to get into a room or onto a call. And we make sure that you're continuing to have this outage, not make sure, but you will continue to have this outage. We get everybody together, we talk to you about what this means if you go down this data deletion path, meaning that all of your data will go inaccessible. We make sure that your attribute is set on your data encryption policy, that you really are meaning to go down this data deletion path. And then if you don't, you can restore at this point, you can restore service. But if you want to continue going down the data deletion path, we notify your account team and we get somebody to sponsor signing an e-document that allows us to continue down the data deletion path to delete that availability key and make all of your data go inaccessible. So that fourth person, so you've got 3 people at the beginning, the 2 Azure subscription owners, the Exchange Online or SharePoint Online tenant administrator, and now this fourth person. So when you signed up for the feature, you said, there are these roles that can sign this e-document that can make my data go inaccessible. So we usually put, people usually put C-level people on there. So you have like your CEO, for example, or maybe your CISO is the one that can sign this document. We do ask for that information up front. So when you sign up for the feature, you say who your data owners are. Once we receive that document back and it's signed and that attribute is set in on the data encryption policy, then we delete the availability key. All your data goes inaccessible at that point. So again, before the OST terms, your online service terms of 180 days, you can go down this data deletion path and make this data inaccessible. So red box, all gone. This is, it's also unrecoverable at that point. So 4 people have to collude, the 2 admins, C-level, and the availability key is definitely deleted in that particular process. How often does this happen? So far, not yet, right? Of course, we've done our testing, it works. right? And I said we've been through that audit, right? So we did go down it for the auditors to make sure that they saw what we were doing and that the data was all inaccessible once we got down the path and deleted the availability key and all of that. But no customer has asked us for this yet. And again, because this feature is for leaving the Office 365 service or having a divestiture, it probably happens pretty rarely. At least we hope it happens pretty rarely. We want people to stay in Exchange Online and SharePoint Online, right? Question here. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay, so the question is, how granular can we be if we want to do this data deletion path, and specifically for a divestiture in this case? It can be at the mailbox layer, like a single mailbox. We don't recommend that because we have these things we are calling compliance groups, right? And we wanted these groups assigned to particular mailboxes, and you can only have 50 data encryption policies, right? But if you wanted to, you could create a new data encryption policy, move that particular mailbox or 100 mailboxes or however many you're divesting to that data encryption policy and take that data encryption policy down that path. Right, so it's pretty granular in Exchange Online. Problem with SharePoint Online is it's all or nothing. So with SharePoint Online, that's different. They are investigating now how to do that at the site collection layer, but they're not there. So for SharePoint Online, it's an all or nothing. It's your entire tenant, unless you're multi-geo, and then you can have 2 data encryption policies. But for most people, it would be singular. It would be all or nothing. For Exchange Online, though, it's mailbox layer. Yeah, question here. Can a customer do a GDPR request to delete all of this particular data? Because GDPR is user-based, right? It's off a particular user. I would say they could, but they would have to figure out which data encryption policy to assign to which particular user, right? Because GDPR is on a particular person, right?
I can actually answer that.
Yeah.
You wouldn't use this process to delete data for GDPR requests. There are ways in Office 365 that allow you to comply with GDPR without going down the path of purging your keys and like that 4 admin scenario. This is for something else altogether. So if you want to go down, use a GDPR request, user asked to delete their data, there is a different path in Office 365 to do that.
Okay. So let me wrap it up, and then we can open it up for questions for either one of our features. Customer key, feature setup, maintenance, and the purge path are all complicated. So I know I just showed that Visio diagram of the offboarding scenario of that data deletion path. The sign-up process is just as complicated. So you want to make sure that you, again, like Ashish was saying about his feature, heavily weigh the reasons that you want this and what the business justifications are for signing up for the feature. Best practices should be followed. So we cannot enforce, for example, you having 2 different sets of administrators on those Azure subscriptions, but we want you to ensure that you have enough of those people that have to collude in order for them to go down the data deletion path. So we want you to follow all of the best practices. We only have some of them codified because there are only some that we in Exchange Online and SharePoint Online could do checks on. But we do want you to follow the best practices. So in our documentation for setup for customer key, we do have a lot of call outs. So there are a lot of notes, a lot of things to think about, a lot of little important things that you should read. Customer key gives the customer the ability to know when their data is no longer accessible in Office 365. So again, the OST will say 180 days, but it could be any time in that 180 days. With the particular customer key feature, if you do decide to exit the Office 365 service, as soon as that e-document is returned to Office 365 by that data owner and signed, we will delete the availability key. We will be done with that particular data. So it will be crypto deleted at that point. And again, in Exchange online, licensing is enforced at the mailbox layer. We want to be crystal clear about that because the other features in our particular add-on are not that. They're not enforced. All right, so on to questions. Do we have any more questions about either one of our feature sets? Okay, yeah.
So for the encryption using you mentioned if you get a license for the exchange, does that include or are they separate licensing for your data at rest versus the exchange?
So the question is there separate licensing for like customer key and like AIP and OME? So if you do purchase E5, it includes both.
Correct. That is right.
But with like the advanced compliance add-on, it includes mine, but it doesn't include his, for example, right? So certain features are in certain add-ons in Office 365, and so, but like E5, for example, has nearly everything.
Yep, that's right. Oh, okay. The HYOK capability comes only in the AIP P2 or EMS E5 SKU. So if you want her feature plus my feature, you can buy Office 365 E5 plus AIP P2, or the encompassing SKU is called M365 E5. It'll have everything.
Any other questions? I also, before we finish, I want to be crystal clear about the naming conventions for these features. So I know that BYOK, HYOK is talked about with AIP and ATP and OME, and customer key is talked about in Office 365. So we do have different naming teams in Azure and in Office 365. So we name them different things. And so when we talk about the BYOK, HYOK, we're talking about mostly Azure features, right? And we're talking about something like customer key, we're talking about things in Office 365. It's very confusing because our feature used to be called Advanced Encryption with BYOK. We then changed it to a really long name, which was like mailbox and file level encryption with customer-owned keys. That's way too long. So we now have changed it to service encryption with customer key for my particular feature, or shortened to just customer key. So it's no longer referred to anything with BYOK, and it gets very confusing between our features. Yeah. Any other questions? All right, great. Thanks, everybody.
We are here to take any questions.